Tonight, new charges just released against Hollywood star Ezra Miller. According to a police report released Monday, the Flash star was charged with felony burglary for allegedly going into a Vermont home and stealing several bottles of alcohol back in May. A spokesperson for Miller declined to comment. It's just the latest in a string of legal troubles for the 29-year-old actor.
Whoever you're looking for, it's not me.
Miller, previously known for their roles in films like Justice League and Fantastic Beasts, is now also becoming known for alleged behavior off-screen. Fans were shocked in 2020 when a video surfaced appearing to show Miller choking a woman in an altercation at a bar in Iceland.
Did you want to fight? Is that the deal?
A bartender who witnessed the incident told NBC News Miller spat in his face several times when he intervened, so much so that spit covered most of his face.
So this guy seems to be like a crazy...
Nate, he has some problems. I actually had Dr. Shaham Das on to talk about this. Dr. Shaham Das is a forensic psychiatrist. So the actual person who testifies whether somebody can be convicted or if they're going to be institutionalized. And we have some opinions on there. Link right there. But Ezra, I think that he definitely has some problems. But then with the alcohol charge here, this makes me think that there could be an addiction issue here as well. I'm not sure. What are your thoughts?
Yes, I think maybe you have an addiction issue here, but this felony burglary charge, if that's all we got, he's going into an unoccupied building, stealing alcohol. You're not getting a million years in prison. Even though the charge, when I looked it up, you can get up to 15 years in prison. But it is felony burglary, because burglary is entering into a property and taking with the intent to steal, and you stole something, so that's technically burglary. So I understand the felony charges, but there's so much this guy's been going through. Like this will be his third arrest this year, and then he's also got 2 orders of protections against him this year too. So there's a lot, because we haven't even talked about the order of protection that the 12-year-old girl's parents had to take out to tell him to stay away from their 12-year-old child. And we forgot about the other one where the parents had to take out an order of protection to tell them to stay away from their child. Generally, that would get you canceled, right? That you wouldn't be starring in a blockbuster movie, right? That it's over. Look at it, they canceled Johnny Depp for less. They canceled a lot of people for less. So why is he still the face? Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm not transgender, non-binary. I don't want to be searched by a man.
He has troubles. I am not a doctor. See, there we go. See, look at this. We're
it's
looking
so
out
hard,
for each
right?
other. No,
it's so hard.
Let's talk about that.
God.
And I actually talked about this with Dr. Shaham Das too, because we kept running into it. I am not trying to insult their pronouns.
There. Oh yeah, there.
Because one, it's a pronoun. A pronoun is like just a word. Now,
a filler.
Keep this in mind. Nate, you and I are, we're older than 20.
Yes.
So at least for 20 years or so, and maybe multiples for me, we some of the first things we learn are pronouns. Yep. Me, my, you, he, she. So the same way that we can walk and talk at the same time, because we've repeated it so many times. Think of how many times you said the word he in your life. And it is more often than almost any other word, even your own name.
Yes.
And the fact is that because of this is an implant, and it's not meant to be an insult. If we say it, we are literally going into lizard brain territory here, or damn close. Well, when we say dog, and you know what? It might not be a dog. It actually is a cat, but we just see it, right? So it's not necessarily meant to be an insult if we say he, because we look and he resembles, and it's a like a mental semantic shortcut in our brain, and we say he before we even have the opportunity to consider societal considerations and cultural implications.
Yeah.
So
it's the problem. You're totally right. The issue that I'm because I was actually looking up the history, just like the history of this thing. I was just trying to see, just like them, they, there, and Ezra has changed his pronouns before, so
There.
it's like it was there. Well, they have changed their pronouns before, but the issue is, I think a lot of people don't, because I was on Popcorn Planet with this,
Mm.
and when I was on Popcorn Planet, they're trying to be extremely thoughtful in the
Mhm.
way they cover the stories, and even they were having problems because oh my, they because it's just so unnatural, because when I see the word they, I'm generally talking about a group of people,
Plural.
and then sometimes, and there are circumstances in which I'd use they in the singular,
Mm.
but those are limited, right? Generally, when you're using they, and just to say, they in these it's like it's going against, it's grammatically incorrect, so your brain
Mhm.
doesn't really switch to they, because he or she or those pronouns are more appropriate in those situations. But then the problem is that if you do make the mistake, people are thinking that I'm willfully doing it and willfully being ignorant to it, just but not understanding, like you're saying, this is just like breathing, right? Because you're just saying the words that you've been taught to say. Now, don't get me wrong, there's obviously going to be a learning curve, but I think that's what people on both sides have to understand. One side, for me personally, I'll call you whatever you want to be called, but you have to understand I will make mistakes, and when I make mistakes, it's not because I'm trying to disrespect you, it's because it was a mistake, it was an accident, and if it does happen, I'll apologize and then try to be better. But if you expect me to be perfect every time, it's just not going to happen. Look at Demi Lovato. She, they, them, and now she wants to be called she again. But now if you go and call her they, because there's a lot of people who are still going to call her they, not knowing that she's changed her pronouns. So, it's difficult to try to figure this out, especially on the fly, but even in regular, if somebody's changing their pronouns every day, which is something. There's actually a video of somebody says, I change my pronouns constantly.
Right, and it's
Then
your job to keep up to in their mind. Now, screw
I
that.
just don't know. Like with Elliot Page. Elliot Page, was Ellen Page for a while, and it was fascinating because were you there when I did that the thing about Elliot Page and Ellen Page?
No.
So
Mm.
so we were looking at Jussie Smollett and Ellen Page when he was Ellen. He had done a show on, he was on the late night shows defending Jussie Smollett. The horrible MAGA people beat him up, but obviously we know it was all the bump. So I was doing a stream and I was looking for Elliot Page reacts to Jussie Smollett because I wanted to put a show on stream, but it was nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. The reason why is because everyone, even though the shows had that clip up as Ellen Page. So then when I typed in Ellen Page, I was like, oh, it says Ellen Page. And then I started talking about it as from Ellen Page. People were so upset at me. Oh, you're misgendering the person. Oh, this is horrible. I'm like, I couldn't find it by typing in Elliot Page. I could only find it by typing in Ellen Page. And it's not like, it's not like that whole history of her being someone else was erased. It's contextualized, but now I'll say, yes, his name is Elliot Page. But when I'm looking historically back
Not
to
at that time.
Was,
at that time,
well,
it didn't exist. That person didn't exist. Who is
exactly.
the gold medal Olympian? Bruce Jenner or Caitlyn Jenner?
Bruce Jenner won the medal. Caitlyn Jenner is the person who has the medal.
Right. But Caitlyn didn't win the medal. So it's a weird thing. And people have to understand that there's points of time. I actually worked with somebody, I'm not going to go with their name, so let's just call him Richard. Mm-hmm. And he changed his name. I'm using fake names to let's say Ismail. And you get used to it. You work with somebody for 12 years and you call them Richard every single day. And you go to address the person and they changed their name a month ago and you say, and so I had a lot of times I was saying Rizmail, if you will. And what was hilarious was he talked about himself in the third person and said, Richard, da, da, da. And it was, I'm sorry, but it was kind of a frameable moment that even he who changed his name, and he wasn't being a jerk or anything about me getting it wrong or whatever. He was just like, I'm looking at laughing and he's laughing too. Like, okay, yeah, good point. even I have to get used to it. So everybody, please keep that in mind. Even the person themselves, you never know. Maybe they don't have it completely down.
Case, no charges were filed. Miller then had a stretch of run-ins with police in Hawaii in 2022, starting with an arrest at a karaoke bar.
I claim my 9th Amendment rights to not be unlawfully persecuted for a crime of no designation, disorderly conduct being something I am unguilty of.
Police say Miller became agitated while patrons began singing, and they began to yell obscenities, grabbing the microphone out of a woman's hand and later lunging at a man playing darts.
A guy in that bar declared himself as a Nazi. I have it on film, and he attacked me.
How do you plead as to disorderly conduct that occurred on March 27, 2022? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
That case is now closed according to court documents. Separately, and later that spring, Miller was arrested for second-degree assault, refusing to leave a party when asked, throwing a chair and striking a woman on the head, according to police, who say that investigation is still active. Then a North Dakota parent alleged that Miller groomed his child, Takata, who met the actor at the age of 12 during a protest of the Dakota Access Pipeline. A court granted an interim protection order. It's unclear if that is still in effect. Takata Iron Eyes, now 18, has publicly denied being groomed and posted on Instagram that Miller, quote, only provided loving support and invaluable protection. And a Massachusetts mother was granted a temporary order of protection against Miller on behalf of her 12-year-old child. The court order said, quote, there is a substantial likelihood of immediate danger of harassment. But the order did not contain any allegations against Miller.
So now, we've heard all of that. Why is this person still in this movie? My question to all of you and Eric is, if this was anyone else, if he wasn't, well, if they weren't LGBTQ+, do you think they would have been canceled by now?
Yeah, let's say he used a male gender. Do you think he'd be canceled?
He's a white male.
Is he?
I'm talking about,
Right.
but biologically, he's a white male.
If this person identified as a
white
male,
male. Mm-hmm.
he'd be gone.
Yeah, I don't.
He's getting a trans pass.
How many passes are we giving out now? This is like the 5th pass we got, right? We got the race pass, we got the gender pass, now we got a trans pass. He's getting a pass. He's getting a pass. And it's interesting because all right, so the Batgirl movie was scrubbed. They $90 million. $90 million they gave up. It shows you they literally throwing money away. But this Flash movie is $200 million. And Warner Brothers, they had him do reshoots. Even before he just got arrested, he was doing reshoots. So they said that they're coming out with this movie. Mm-hmm. Do you think Warner Brothers, I think they've already gotten rid of a $90 million movie. The Flash movie is like $200 million. Mm-hmm. What do you do? How do you scrap the movie and give up another $200 million on top of the $90 million you already threw away?
You know what? Okay, there actually is precedent for this. Mm-hmm. Kevin Spacey filmed an entire movie. His entire part was filmed in the can, ready to go when all the charges came down. Mm-hmm. They recast him, I believe, with Donald Sutherland, and refilmed the entire movie and replaced him. Now, would I say do that for Ezra Miller? No. Here's where I stand, and this is the problem. Okay. I don't like the hypocrisy. I see that Johnny Depp got fired, and he was fired, got his contract paid, fine. Where the problems come in is the hypocrisy of keeping people around and working with them still, even though they're committing similar acts against society. I'm not even going to say crime. I'm going to get more vague on that. They're unacceptable. Their behavior is unacceptable. Now, does this mean that they should scrap the Flash? No, I don't think they should. Okay. Separate the art from the artist. And this is a project. It was done. Should he be in the second movie, The Flash? No. So this is where I stand. It's like, I understand you've got all this time and investment in there. Finish the damn movie, put it out. That's that period of time it happened. It doesn't mean that you're celebrating the person. It's a work that was completed. Now, if you continue and you say, okay, now we're doing the Flash 2 and we're just whitewashing all this and throwing it away, I have a problem. But I don't have a problem with completing the movie. I think that is, you have to keep in mind that it's not only about Ezra Miller. There are quite literally tens of thousands of people who worked on that movie potentially or are involved in that project. I do not want to throw away all of their efforts and all of their work, because that is what some of us are, asking to happen. But consider their contribution. Consider they want to see their work on the screen. And it's not only all the other co-stars who are on the screen with him. What about the gaffers and the lighting people and the animators? Movies are a giant collaborative effort. It is like taking a small town or a small city and producing a piece of art.
Yes.
All these people are involved. So again, finish the movie and fire his ass.
Well, two things. One, he's already been fired. Two, the movie's already completed. And that's the issue. And that's the issue. The movie's completed. It's about release. And the same thing with the Batgirl movie. The movie is completed, but it's about release. So Batgirl, no release, right? Because they were saying that it just wasn't showing well to audiences. Audience weren't responding well.
Fair enough.
So that's fair. So it's $90 million. This one, audience loved the movie. So now you have a difference, and it costs more. So and I do want to make that's a quick distinguishing between, I think, the Kevin Spacey movie and this. These Hollywood superhero movies are a lot more to produce, and I think the Kevin Spacey movie, yeah, and don't forget you. So we're talking about a lot more money. Yeah, you're talking about a lot more money, I think, going involved. Sure. But I think you're right. I think at this point in time, I think Warner Brothers has, or the DC universe has just way too many issues. The Batgirl movie, done, $90 million drain. Let's not forget you got Amber Heard, who you've already paid all this money to. And on top of that, you got Aquaman 2, where you got millions of people saying they're not going to watch your movie if she's in the movie. And DC's already got problems with Flash movie, Batgirl movie, now Aquaman 2, and you got Amber Heard. So this is just, it's like the nightmare scenario where in all the biggest movies you want to come out next couple of years, you have these horrible people who are in them, and you just don't know what to do. So I think you're right. I think the best thing to do is let the Flash movie come out, and that's it. That was his last thing as a Flash, or recast it, or a new one, or you bite the bullet and reshoot this movie like you did with Kevin Spacey. But I think that's going to be another $100 million endeavor. Or you scrap it and then just redo it. But like I said, I think you're right. I don't think they have a choice, because Warner Brothers has come out and said that they're planning that this movie, they're excited about this movie, they're going to put it out. So
you could put a trigger warning.
What can you do?
You can even put a statement before the movie acknowledging this is material that was shot before incidents has happened, and we will let the courts do whatever. I mean, I don't know. You're a lawyer, you write it, but you could even put a statement before the movie saying we're disavowing. The same way if somebody dies in a movie, you can say this movie's dedicated. Well, you can say this movie is disavowing actions that are taking place by certain characters. But what I was saying, we want to celebrate the work of everyone else who is involved. What's wrong with that?
Because even though he's the actor, his contribution to it, there's so many, like you're saying, there's so many other people. But it's the same thing happened with Roseanne when she was canceled. But they kept the show going because they were like, there's so many different actors and everything. Just this one person shouldn't destroy everybody else's opportunity to make some cash. So I agree with you with that. And to be honest with you, I'm not going to be hypocritical here. I'm generally against canceling people.
Me too.
Just because of whatever reason. But when you start, he's pushing me to the point where I'm like, at what point does that start becoming unreasonable? Well, dude,
he's going to be in prison.
12-year-old, 12, you got 12-year-olds that, stay away from, you got children involved, you got this. It's like, at what point it's like, okay, you're really pushing I'm against canceling people to the limit here, because at a point, there are certain things that you can do where I'd say, like Jared from Subway, right? He 100% sure should be canceled, right?
Okay, hold on.
I'm against canceling, but that's something. Yeah. But I'm saying, but that's in that instance, yeah.
Well, and even here, as the studio, I could say, I don't know if you're guilty or not guilty, but you're going to be in court. You are going to be doing this. You cannot contribute to future projects. You're too busy. Through whatever happened, even if it's a meteor from the sky, you are not able to participate. And if you go to prison, you're not going to be filming in prison. So we have to move on. We have to recast this role. Work it out.
Yeah. It's not that I agree 1,000%. But you know what? It's not about us. It's really about you. How do you feel Ezra Miller should continue on as his role in The Flash? Do you think they should release this movie with all this baggage behind it? Would you go see the movie if Ezra Miller is still inside it? Let us know in the comment section, because remember, we all vote. We vote with our dollars. We vote with our wallets. So what are you going to vote for?
I vote for you hitting subscribe.
Don't forget, yes, if you haven't subscribed, come on. If you're watching this, and if you're watching at this point in the video, you've watched the whole damn thing. Hit that button. Let's get out of here. For Nate and for Eric, my name is Nate. We're out. My magic wand. Peace.